Alrighty, here we go. Welcome in, everybody. Wednesday, September the 28th, episode 126 of DAAAgenerates podcast. Currently, right now, Florida's getting fucking wiped off the East Coast, but it don't matter. Fucking Florida's full of trash bags and fentanyl addicts anyway. So, no, for real. Anybody listening down in Florida, got family down in the area, don't be going swimming. Make sure your fucking local weatherman aren't getting hit by fucking tumbleweeds or stop signs or anything. Stay safe. Don't freak out and buy all the toilet paper like we did 2 years ago. And just stay safe down there. And yeah, hopefully hopefully this shit fucking blows by real fucking fast. Like I said, welcome in 126. We got a big Bears game coming up this Sunday afternoon. Bears Giants. Week 4 in New Jersey, actually. That don't make no sense. And we got a pretty good slate of fucking football coming up this weekend. Fantasy gambling, everything else right here on the Degenerates podcast. Let me welcome in Nick Johnston, my co-host. How you doing on this fine Wednesday?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. It's going to be a football heavy episode today, which is obviously one of my favorites things to do. Consider and talk about that all day, but yeah, it's going to be good. We talked about it last episode. Got into that Jeffrey Dahmer show. That was pretty fucking fun. Maybe we can sit
Yeah.
here shoot the shit on that. But yeah, overall, like I said, past couple days, pretty decent. Coming off some good wins on fantasy, getting some good waiver wire moves. I think we'll see how it goes. I'll be looking forward to recording that as well later. I love the recording days, loving this shit. So yeah, we got big Bears game, big everything in between. Yeah, we got some fun things. We got the best bets, got our best matchups, maybe some underdog plays. We got a little parlays you can maybe ride or die with this on. All brought to you by PointsBet code SYS9. And then yeah, I guess we got yeah, you want to talk about a little bit of Dahmer? I actually caught up basically right where you were. Not gonna deep dive into it, but I'm sort of on the same page with you. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the acting. I don't know anyone's names anymore, so I didn't know that the actor that he's basically from all the American Horror Stories. He's doing a crazy awesome job being
Yeah,
Jeffrey
he
Dahmer.
is.
Uh, yeah, I was getting creeped out just the right away. The like the what would it be? The first episode when he walks out and then he meets his neighbor. That's like the first interaction you see between the neighbor and Jeffrey. They clue and they zoom in, try and make him as creepy as possible, and it makes a very good good tone for the rest of the episode, rest of the series. Honestly, and like I said, halfway through it, I'm enjoying it. I'm kind of with you. I like how it bounces around. It's doing a very good job of not idolizing him in any sort of fashion. He's very much a monster, and that's kind of my takeaway. I hope no one, just because this guy is portraying Jeffrey Dahmer, I hope no one I guess sexually fantasizes or fetishizes of serial killers now. I hope that doesn't become a thing or any sort of thing. And yeah, definitely don't make light of anything that he did just because this guy is portraying him in any sort of way. That would be my take. But yeah, good shit. Check it out. It's awesome. Good. Thanks for the
Yeah,
recommendation.
it's been fucking creepy so far, and I was just telling you off the air. I got, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched it, but the end of the 4th episode, something happens at the end, and he's doing something sort of inappropriate with a decapitated head. And I was watching it with my girlfriend last night, and she turns to me when it was over, and she's like, "Man, this dude is fucking weird." And I was like, yeah, he's Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, I'll give her a benefit of the doubt or benefit of the fucking whatever. She knows who Jeffrey Dahmer is, but she doesn't know the extent of what he did. She just knew he was a serial killer that was in Milwaukee killing people.
Yeah.
She didn't know his backstory. She didn't know that he was chopping people up and keeping them in their fucking closet. She didn't know any of that shit. So
Yeah.
just for her to say, "Oh, this dude's fucking weird." I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, the one scene where he was like feeling up the mannequin and everything like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that shit was, or the one scene he was jerking off, and he was jerking off to the porno magazine. You wouldn't
Yeah.
nut, and then he just starts thinking of fish guts and he comes, and I'm like, this shit, but that's what makes a good show, the
Yeah,
creepiness and the
yeah,
awkwardness and
absolutely.
the fucking just what the fuck moments.
I
So
remember, yeah, I love the also. I mean, maybe not a big spoiler. I'm not going to give away what happened in the scene, but they're at they're in Milwaukee, right across from where the rave is right now, a big little concert venue up in Milwaukee. Right across the street is the Ambassador Hotel, where a couple of these murders have happened, and I've
oh
stayed there
shit.
before. Uh, one night again, leaving from a concert, and some dude was all fucked up when I'm trying to get back in my hotel room, and it's still as old school as it is back when I went. So it's like it's two elevators. That's it to get up to all these rooms, and you have to like open the door to the elevator. It like slides open and then
Oh,
you
it's
walk. Yeah.
real old school.
Oh yeah, it's still as old school as it is. So like I said, we're all in a big ass line waiting for this guy's all fucked up. He goes, "Hey, everybody knows Jeffrey Dahmer." He's saying whatever. He's like, "I'm staying in the room tonight. I'm staying at whatever the room number was. 419, Jeffrey Dahmer." Oh yeah, it happened. I'm just like, bro, chill the fuck out.
Dude,
Trying to go
isn't
back
that
tonight.
isn't that the same hotel that everyone says it's haunted, and like a lot of like a lot of baseball teams stay there, I think, when they're in town playing the Brewers, and they stay there, and they've players have had like reports of power going out or them hearing things or them
Yeah,
just
no, that's
feeling
that's
uneasy.
definitely
That's the
happened.
same place,
I
right?
think there's probably
Yeah.
been like Ghost Hunter show or something like that. Maybe the Ghost Adventures have been there or something like that. But yeah, sure enough, they did a very nice job of recreating, or if not, if I don't know if they filmed on site there, I doubt it. But that was I like I said, I've been there. I'm like, oh shit, I recognize that, and then sure enough,
Yeah.
you see it just in like the corner of the scene, just right in the background. It just says the Ambassador Hotel. I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, I actually have been there. There you go. It's pretty cool. And
God
like I said,
damn, that is creepy.
yeah, a couple of I mean, a couple of people we know, we've all stayed there before, and sure enough, it's a little eerie sometimes. It's like I
Yeah, I'll
said,
stay at a
very old
fucking
school.
Holiday Inn.
You
Thank
ever
you.
stayed at the like you ever seen 1408? Like it's very like I said, old school
No.
creepy style like that. It's one of those that Stephen King horror movie with him when he's staying in the haunted hotel room. It's not about the Ambassador Hotel, but whatever. It's like I said, that Dahmer show is pretty good. I mean, they'll probably know how it ends in all general, but I mean, and so far, just how it's shot, how it's being acted, everything, how it's being portrayed. Pretty cool. I like this. This is really awesome. So I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
it's been a great show so far. Watching it with my girlfriend, it takes us fucking forever to watch shows, but we'll finish it eventually and we'll talk about the rest of it on here.
yeah,
Don't want to give out too much, obviously, for people who haven't seen it, but yeah,
yeah.
Dahmer on
Still very
Netflix,
fresh.
Jeffrey
Yeah,
Dahmer, Monster, Making of a Monster, whatever it's called. Definitely go tune into that because it's weird. And coming from a guy who's not big into horror stuff and horror movies and everything, it's not scary at all. It is just like you said last week or last Monday. It's just creepy and it's more of a thriller than it is a horror. So,
okay, yeah.
uh, definitely go check that out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, if you got no more anything on the entertainment docket, we can dive on into this fucking Bears Giants game. Is again another winnable game for the Bears, just like how every other fucking Giants podcast is saying this is a winnable game for the Giants. So uh if you want me, I can dive in on what I think, or you want to dive in on
Yeah, go
what you
for it. I think I started off last week, so go ahead. Give us your initial thoughts. Both teams 2-1. Giants 3-point favorites at home against the Bears, and it's a winnable game for both teams. So
do you have the over under in front of you
the
as of right
over
now?
under is 39 and a half.
Oof, that probably is going to be the
Yeah.
probably the lower one on the docket, but for a good reason. I think this is going to be just an absolute fucking stick fight, rock fight. This is going to be pretty brutal. You know, how are we going to win this game? In my mind, that's kind of how I always try and tackle these on how we're going to break it down. It's going to have to be running the ball, running it as much as possible. I don't know too much. I know David Montgomery's day to day. We're going to see how that goes. Hopefully, he gets in a practice session or two, and he can maybe get the go ahead. But Khalil Herbert can sure enough take all the fucking snaps. It doesn't really matter. Herbert's going to be 100%. Hopefully, Montgomery, if he gets like 75%, like I said, you can always use him as a dummy. get him maybe 10 snaps, but Herbert sure enough can do it. I mean, the Cowboys ran for 176 yards with what we thought was a completely depleted Zeke and Tony Pollard again having. Well, if Khalil Herbert can recreate what Tony Pollard did, it's gonna be exactly
Oh
the
yeah.
same. So
Oh yeah.
why can't we? It's exactly what I was thinking. But just can we finally open up the pass game again? If Cooper Rush can do it, and he's actually like not on the lower end of what passing yards per attempt or something like that. So why can't Fields? So that means like a lot of guys are gonna have to actually step up and have big games. And I'll get to that in a little bit, but again, it's gonna have to. Defense is gonna have to key in on probably two guys, and it's gonna be the rushing. It's gonna be Barkley for sure, 110%, and it's gonna have to be making sure that Daniel Jones doesn't scramble. He actually ends up being most of the time. Sometimes they're leading rusher just because he leaves the pocket and then ends up rushing for like 40, 50 yards sometimes. And, he's always due for a sack fumble. So that's good and always in the back of our minds. But defense is going to have to step up for sure. Hopefully, Roquan's feeling a little bit better. Are we getting anything on Jalen Johnson? Is he coming back? Was he day to day? Anything like that? Is he going to be out for an extensive period? I don't know. I'm asking you right now.
Yeah, I think he was at practice limited a little bit this week at practice. So
Okay.
not sure if we're gonna get him at 100%, if he's gonna play injured. I'm not quite sure yet.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, like I said, okay, so defense is gonna have to key on, like I said, on those two guys because Sterling Shepard out with a torn ACL. That was basically one of their top receivers. Now I'm
Yeah, and
going to
what a
list off.
freak injury too.
Yeah,
Like just
pretty
just
bad one.
jogging, running a route, and boom, there it
Yeah,
goes. That was
yeah,
that sucked to see.
a non-contact injury, especially like that, is always a fucking question mark. So yeah, I mean, I'm just list off these receivers: Richie James, Daniel Bellinger, David Sills the fifth, and Kenny Galladay. None of those guys should be able to beat us in any sort of fashion, any sort of way possible. And maybe I guess this is going to be like Kenny Galladay's in the back of his mind, like, all right, time to step up and earn my paycheck. But he is absolute fucking dog shit. So I have no.
Yeah, he got an opportunity the other night on Monday night and dropped two wide open balls.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's going to be right back on the bench. He's
So
complaining for all this playing time, and he
yeah.
finally gets it and doesn't perform.
Yeah. So the actual receiver, the actual number one guy, the number one receiving threat is going to be Saquon Barkley. He's going to be the number one everything, the number one running threat, the number one receiving threat. You're going to have to lock him down. Go old school or something. Just get a fucking guy and lock in on him all goddamn day or something like that. Play man on him all day long. There's going to have to be something like that. But I don't know. That's going to be the only big threat. I mean, like I said, the casual, the usual limit the big plays, and that might decide this game. And like I said, the guys I just listed off aren't going to do anything. Their leading receiver caught 36 yards passing last game. Nothing big. So we could just, again, and I'll wrap it up. Just we gotta get takeaways. Got to make them pay for opportunities. But the Giants can do that just like we need to. If we give them shitty takeaways or giveaways, they can probably capitalize. Graham Gano might be the best Giant on the team, so he can lay in some very good kicks. So again, Bears have any chance of winning. We need Fields to step up 110%. He needs to have a better passing game without a doubt. We say this every single time. Mooney's going to have to get open and create these passing opportunities for Fields. Same with Kmet. Congratulations. You finally caught a pass. You finally caught two passes. You're not going to go. Yeah, you're not going to go without a pass this season. But you need to create opportunities and get yourself open for Fields to throw to you so he doesn't get fucking sacked or doesn't have to run out of the pocket. Like I said, this also kind of relies on the talent that is out there for Fields. So get out there and get moving. And on the flip side, on the defensive side, a guy that we haven't really been seeing, get a lot of young names be thrown around, making sacks, making plays, getting interceptions. Where's Robert Quinn been? I know he got off the fucking big sack last season, breaking the franchise record. Haven't seen him, haven't seen his name pop up in the box score much. He's going to need to show up and have a big game. As much as we love Roquan, and he's going to probably come out, and I'd love for him to have 18 tackles and another interception or 2 interception game, maybe a forced fumble or something. Robert Quinn's going to need to show up and help out in some way, some sort of fashion. So that's how the Bears get it done. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be fucking ugly and disgusting. I don't know what the weather conditions might be, but in any either whether it's raining or not, a 16-10, 13-10 final in any sort of direction wouldn't surprise me either way. So,
No, not at all.
yeah, so what are you thinking on this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback on two things you said. It's just gonna we're gonna have to, shut down Saquon. That's all they're gonna really have on offense. He's having a resurgent year, and good for him, and good for a lot of people who drafted him a little later in fantasy. I know he was going beginning, maybe middle of the second round for a lot of guys, and he's back to the old Saquon. He's got 317 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, just under 100 yards receiving with 13 receptions. So PPR leagues, little couple extra points there. I do want to point out though, the last two season-ending injuries Saquon Barkley has had, they have both came against the Bears. So maybe someone got it out for him. Maybe it's just fucking bad juju. But the last two times he played the Bears, he tore his knee a couple years ago, and then last year I believe he had that quad injury that was lingering all year. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. It's just weird things like that always catch my eye. And then also on the defensive side of the ball, I think, like you said, we're gonna have to get after the quarterback. But I'm gonna challenge someone else this year or this week. I'm gonna challenge Travis Gibson, left end. He's gonna be going up against Evan Neal, I believe, is the right tackle for the Giants, rookie out of Alabama. They've given up 13 sacks so far in 3 games, and 6 of those 13 sacks have come off the right edge because of Evan Neal. He's a rookie. He's got all the makings to be a varsity athlete, as Uncle Junior likes to say. But he has been a little rough in the pass protection. So Travis Gibson, we trade away Khalil Mack. We expect Travis Gibson to fill in for him this season. I want to see if he can take that next step, beat up on this rookie right tackle that they got. Gibson's having a decent year. I think he has 1 sack or 1.5 sack. No, 2 sacks already on the season. So I'm going to predict he's going to double his sack total on the year. He's going to get at least 2 to get him to 4 on the season, and maybe a strip sack in there too. So I want to see Travis Gibson get after the quarterback. I totally agree. We got to take Roquan or maybe even Jaquan Brisker and just stick them on Saquon all fucking day. Wherever he goes, they go, and take that guy out because he's going to be the reason. If the Giants win, it's going to be because of him. It's not going to be because of any receivers. It's not going to be because of Daniel Jones, 300 yards passing. Daniel Jones, like you said, he does like to take off and run. That's not going to win him games, though. It's going to be because of Saquon. So I think the Bears take him out, not injury wise, like I sort of alluded to earlier, but take him out of the game plan, and that's going to be their offense. On the other side of the ball, offensively, it's been the same thing since 1960. Run the ball and play defense. That's how the Bears have always fucking won. Just waiting for that game for Justin Fields to take that next step. Only has 297 yards passing on the year, with 23 completions. That's absolutely terrible. Again, we talked about it last week with the Texans. That was a defense you can throw on. We saw it Monday night with the Cowboys in their backup quarterback and a spotty offensive line. They threw all over this Cowboys team in the second half. CeeDee Lamb had an amazing game, had that great catch in the end zone. And this is another team I think you can throw all over given the opportunity. So I want to sit here and say Justin Fields breakout game, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but I can't yet. So I think we just gotta. It's gonna be, if the Bears win, it's gonna be the same way we beat the Texans and the same way we beat the 49ers. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be turnovers. It might be last team to have the ball wins this, just like it was against the Texans. Got a big turnover. Cairo ends it, with the field goal. It could be another one of those games. Just an ugly one, just a slugfest. Don't know if fucking Montgomery's gonna play yet, but we've seen a lot out of Khalil Herbert when he steps in. when Monty's hurt. He's first of all, how did Khalil Herbert not win NL? I'm so stuck in baseball still. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Cordell Patterson won it, and Cordell Patterson had 10 less rushing yards, 13 less receiving yards, and one less touchdown, and he won it over Khalil Herbert. So don't
That's
know.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't know what's going on there, NFL. But Khalil Herbert, a lot of people, probably going to be starting him in fantasy this week, rightfully so. He's going to be the Bears' go-to guy this week. I just want to see. I'm waiting for Velus Jones to come off the fucking IR, and he was actually practicing a little bit with the Bears. He's this 26-year-old rookie with speed out the fucking wazoo. Unfortunately, has had this hamstring injury hamper him all throughout preseason training camp and now into the regular season. I hope he can play because I want to see what he has to offer. Nothing but praise for this guy and his speed, whether it's in the return game or whether it's at wide receiver. Coming out of college. I want to see how that could potentially translate into the NFL. So Khalil Herbert, he's going to be the go-to guy. Feed him all day, and hopefully Velus Jones can fucking play. Maybe take a little bit of the pressure and spotlight off of the rest of the receiving core. Get them open. Not everybody. I saw this stat earlier that uh, the first 3 games of the season the Bears have played, Darnell Mooney is one of the least targeted receivers in the NFL, and teams are just spotlighting him, taking him out, and making the rest of the team beat them, receiver wise. And we don't have the receivers to do that. So maybe bringing in another weapon with the speed like Velus Jones opens up Cole Kmet, opens up Darnell Mooney. No Byron Pringle. He drove his car into a pole with his son the other day. Again, rest in peace. No, he's out with a calf injury or something. He's actually on IR for the next 4 weeks,
Oh
which
wow. Yeah, that's
sucks
right.
but doesn't suck because he hasn't done shit anyway. Equanimeous St. Brown's been our go-to guy. Um, but yeah, it's going to be an ugly one. I'd like to say here and predict the score and predict who's going to do what, but it's just so unpredictable with this offense so far. So ugly one, maybe a big day for Cairo Santos again, and definitely a winnable game for the Bears though.
Yeah, I mean it's the unpredictable Bears offense and just a really tight Giants defense that kind of will double down, and it's gonna, like you just said, it's gonna take away some people. I'm sure Darnell Mooney's gonna have a tough time getting open, just like I said, but they're gonna need to do something. They're gonna have to help out Fields in any sort of way possible. But it doesn't need to be a 300-yard, 350-yard passing game from Fields. If he gives us 200 yards, a passing touchdown or a rushing touchdown or 2 passing touchdowns and no turnovers and just looks good and looks confident and runs the ball when he feels the ball and feels
Yeah,
the pocket collapsing and just makes good decisions, throws the ball out of bounds when he knows there's no time. And if they just do that simply, it's not going to point in the direction of, oh, this is solved now. Fields is the guy. It finally gives us a stepping stone of like, okay, what did we do right now? How can we recreate this and get better? That's what we need to do. It's possible that it can get done. Again, when we keep rattling off these shitty fucking names, Davis Mills and Cooper Rush. If we just played Davis Mills and we beat him, but he still looked good against us, and Cooper Rush just played the Giants and actually beat them, he's 3-0 as a starting quarterback for the
yeah,
Cowboys, and everyone's flipping out. Why can't Justin Fields figure it out? And like I said, if it really comes down to this, if he fucking puts up a big old goose egg in any sort of fashion, eh, I don't know. It's gonna be a really tough episode 127. Honestly, it's gonna a lot of things are gonna come into question. I don't want to think in that negative light yet. I'm leaning towards that he can still have a very good game, win or lose, as long as he just does not turn the ball over. He has positive yardage and looks confident, looks good. That'll be something to look forward to. So
yeah.
yeah.
I agree. A lot of people definitely pulling the plug on Justin Fields way too fucking early, and I sort of I can understand where they're coming from,
Yeah, absolutely.
but
I get
like
it.
we gave Mitch Trubisky 3 years, and Mitch Trubisky had better weapons. I'd say he had a better offensive line at times, maybe not towards the end. Um, and Justin Fields, we saw, a handful of games last year and 3 games this year, one of them being the monsoon week 1, and people are already giving up on him with this terrible offensive line that can't fucking. They're doing a great job in the run game, but protecting him in the pass pro has been god awful. Has absolutely no weapons. Like shout out to Darnell Mooney. He's a great wide receiver in his own right, but even going back to the preseason, he's not a fucking number one. He wouldn't be a number one anywhere else. Unfortunately, the Bears didn't go out and draft receivers or trade for receivers, sign any in free agency. So he's our number one. Um, so given all that, and given the fact that we gave Mitch 3 years, give Justin Fields a little more than 3 weeks, people.
Yeah.
Let the guy try and figure it out. Even if he doesn't have the greatest season this season, I would like to see what the Bears put around him next year with the $100+ million we're going to have in salary cap. And, we finally actually have a first round draft pick coming up this year. We can put a good tackle on that offense. We could put a good receiver. We can put players on this offense around him to help him out because right now he has none of that. I mean, Bears fans, we know how good Khalil Herbert can be at times, but in the grand scheme of things, when our best weapon is Khalil Herbert, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So, Bears fans who are giving up and he's trash. He's worse than Trubisky. He's worse than I forgot what one of my buddies said the other day. He said he wouldn't be a backup on the Jaguars right now. I'm like, relax.
I'm glad you just
It's
said
been
the
3 weeks.
Jaguars
It's been
because
3 weeks.
I mean, just look at Trevor Lawrence's fucking rookie year. No one like ran for the hills when he was sucking ass. I mean, it was the same kind of the same realm. I mean, he had no one to throw to. He had no one really like. I can't really. Laviska Chenault Jr. Is that what who he was going to rely on last year? No. I mean,
Yeah,
now he's
and
finally
and
having.
Marvin Jones
Yeah,
Jr.
I know.
Like,
Now he
no.
finally gets. I mean, what's looking to be a prominent guy with Christian Kirk. Give him weapons and he's actually going to do something. So it can be in that same realm. And I hate the argument of, oh, he's the quarterback. He can create weapons. He should be making them. You should be almost like in the Tom Brady type of thing where he's like creating fucking gold out of the Play-Doh that was fucking Danny Amendola and Julian Edelman and these fucking guys. Those guys are more talented than what we have now. I mean, I'll take Chris Hogan or whoever the fuck even their last fourth stringer was back in the day over what we have now. It's fucking brutal. So I hate that argument of, oh, the quarterback should be making these guys into talent. No, they have these
No,
guys. These guys need to get open. If they can't get open, he's fucked. It's just as simple as that.
yeah, and it goes back to exactly what I was talking about last week. If you had a good offensive line that can give him that extra second, second and a half, 2 seconds to let these mediocre wide receivers create space and get open down the field, okay, then at least he has a good offensive line, or vice versa. If he had a bad offensive line, which he does now, but he had Debo Samuel or Terry McLaurin or DK Metcalf, who you don't need that extra 2 seconds in pass protection. These guys are gonna get open. They're gonna make space. One on one, a guy like DK Metcalf is always open, or a guy like Debo Samuel, you only need a half a second to throw it to him in the flats, and he makes moves and gets you 10, 15, 20 yards like he's been doing for the last year and a half with the 49ers. But we don't have either of those things. He doesn't have the time
We
to
don't
give
have
these
any way,
mediocre.
and
Yeah,
not even like the stepping stones to get to any sort of
no,
one
he
of those
doesn't.
guys. Like I'm glad you use that word mediocre. These guys, the talent around them is mediocre at best. I mean,
At
on
best,
their
you're
best day,
100%
they're
right.
mediocre. I mean, it's
100%.
yeah, and then like the 70% other time, it's just kind of dog shit effort. They can't get open, and yeah, just you're gonna get high school fucking offensive numbers when it's like that when you get the
Yeah,
receivers that we have.
what I like to. I was thinking about this last night and talking to one of my buddies about it. He's a big Bears fan. Shout out Louie. Um, if you look at the Bears, other than Darnell Mooney, he's I like Mooney. He can stick around. He's been here. He had a great year last year and even the year before. But you look at our number 2 and number 3 targets, Equanimous St. Brown and Byron Pringle. They didn't have success with Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers and 2 amazing offensive lines with the Chiefs and the Packers. You really think they're going to succeed here?
These are practice squad guys
That's all I
anywhere
have to
else.
say.
They're practice squad guys anywhere else, and they're starters for our fucking team. So I mean that should speak volumes.
I mean Byron Pringle played, whenever Tyreek Hill got tired of running 40-yard goals and coming back and zigzagging all over the field, and he needed a breath or two, or needed a play or two to catch a breath. That's when Byron Pringle came in.
Yeah.
And Equanimous St. Brown, I don't think he ever did a fucking thing with the Packers. And no disrespect to the guy, but again, if they didn't have success with a Super Bowl champion in the Packer or a Super Bowl champion in the Chiefs, and then NFC fucking front runners every single year with the 2-time MVP and Aaron Rodgers, they're not doing dick with Tevin Jenkins, Alex Leatherwood, Sam Mustipher, and Justin Fields at quarterback. Sorry, they're not gonna have success there either.
Yeah, no, this is that's just how it goes. Yeah, so I mean, if you really had nothing else on the Giants Bears, I mean, that about wraps it up for me. I mean, yeah, we want to be positive and all that, but I mean, it's just, I guess, banking on the argument of, oh, Justin Fields is shit. It's just not true. It's just like we keep saying it every single week in and week out. Give him one weapon and we'll be some sort of happy. Give him some sort of like 99 overall esque quality type guy in Madden. If you gave him something like that to do, that would be great. But it's not in the cards right now. We're probably gonna have to draft him next year. That's my mind, and build this guy from the ground up. Until then, I don't know. That's exactly the thing. It's gonna,
if you go to the fourth quarter last week against the Texans, I think it was 3rd and 11, 3rd and long or something like that. And Justin Fields actually had about 3.5 seconds in the pocket. I forgot who it was over the middle, but he threw a beautiful pass in between a linebacker and a safety and picked up the 3rd and long, and ended up, I think that was the drive we got the fucking game-winning field goal on. And it was late in the fourth quarter, not early in the fourth quarter. When he had the time, we even saw it in the preseason. And yes, preseason is preseason. There's a lot of backups playing, a lot of guys even fighting to be on the roster. But he made the throws when he had time. And unfortunately, you're playing now. You got Nick Bosa screaming down your fucking throat. You got the Packers front line. The Texans, they don't have too much, but they're still professional football players. He hasn't had the time. But that one play he did last week was an absolutely beautiful throw, which got a first down and led to the Bears winning the game. So he's not going to succeed right now with the stuff they have around him. You could even go back to the Chiefs and the Bucks in the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter how good your quarterback is. The Buccaneers shut down Patrick Mahomes in that fucking game, and he even had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So. Yeah. What do you think the fucking Bears with Cole Kmet and Equanimous St. Brown are going to do? Yeah, not a whole lot.
My only hope is that it just by the end of this, maybe by the end of this couple of weeks, or surely by the end of the season, I just hope his confidence isn't shot. Justin Fields' confidence isn't shot in any sort of fashion. And yeah, I just hope I hope he knows that in his mind that, I mean, 2-1, maybe you should be 2-1, maybe you shouldn't be. That's neither here nor there, but if you can actually string together some wins and you're playing pretty shitty, just imagine when you actually do start playing well. So hopefully, if he thinks of it in that light, realizes that sure enough to himself, hopefully that people around him are like, man, yeah, you're on this team. You're kind of just the guy. I hope maybe his like inner circle or something like that is still getting like hyping him up and stuff, something like that.
Yeah, and I think that's a good sign of things going forward. And that's a good sign that the players believe in the coach. They believe in the management. They believe in the message, that they're, going forward, that the that the ownership and the coaches are preaching to them, because it would be so easy last week against the Texans, you go down 17-13 and then throw an interception for guys to just tank it in and lose fucking 31-13. That could have been a realistic ending for that Bears game last week, but instead they didn't. They went out, they played great defense, they got a fucking turnover. Eddie Jackson gets the big pick, and then Roquan gets one late. So just the fact that you're winning these shitty games and you're not just tanking it in like we've seen so much, in the fucking Matt Nagy era of the Bears is a good sign that the
Yeah.
players are buying into what the coaches and the owners are selling. Same shit that's going on in Detroit. Like
Yeah.
Detroit had a 14-point lead to the Vikings, blew it late. Coach owns the bad play calling at the ending. They lose to the Eagles, who are probably going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC by 3 points week 1. Like at least they're in it, and that's a good sign. Within like that locker room.
Oh yeah, there's definitely been a huge culture shift ever since I think we made notice of this I think week 1, maybe during the preseason when Fields got popped and the O-line of the previous years didn't do dick about it. He got popped this year. We're on a late hit, and sure enough, the entire O-line and a couple of tight ends got in everybody's fucking face and made a big hoopla about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this is definitely a positive, big culture change in that locker room, and all for the better. So, yeah, like I said, there are big positives for this Bears team. There are sure as hell a lot of negatives, but winning solves all problems. So get the fucking win this week. Go eat the Giants. This is a doable big. Not a big. I want not sit here and say it's a big game, but fuck it. Every game's a big game. Fuck it. Got to get the win. Bears gonna beat the Giants. For the sake of it, fuck it. 16-13, close one. Cairo Santos, bang through the uprights, gets us another field goal win at the last second.
There you go. I like that score prediction.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah. In that case, we got nothing else on the Bear guys. I think we did pretty solid previewing that, getting everything out of the way as of right now. Maybe previewing some shit out of there. We got some best matchups, best bets, underdog plays. I know like I said, we got some parlays that we made together. Yeah, what are you feeling? I guess, like I said, I got some. We maybe sit through our got a couple of matchups that I really like.
I think before we get into the Sunday games, let's quickly go over to Thursday night game.
Oh, okay.
I think we got a good game there.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Cincinnati actually 4-point favorites at home over the 3-0 Dolphins. Cincinnati -4 right now. Over under 47. 3-0 Dolphins on Prime Thursday night in Cincinnati against the 1-2 Bengals. What are your thoughts on this game?
I really like this game, and this is gonna be another nice on paper. A couple of years ago, this would have been like the old school type of Thursday night shitty game that we would have got. Back in the day when the Miami had nobody, and same thing. The Bengals still had fucking who was that really bad head coach? I think he's the
Marvin
Jones. I think
Marvin
right?
Jones.
Yeah, he's the head coach of like Grambling State University now. I think it. Yeah, it's so they're so bad,
dude. Totally off topic. You remember Herm Edwards?
I always hear that name, but yeah,
he was like the coach of the Giants, and I think he was the head coach for the Chiefs a little bit. Mm-hmm. He was the head coach at Arizona State, and supposedly there was like a mutiny against him, and like the players and the other assistant coaches they were leaking their game script and their game plan to other teams to lose a lot just to get him fired. He ended up getting fired. How crazy is that?
That's fucked.
I heard that on the radio the other day driving downtown. I was like, no way, this Herb Edwards, that's the same fucking guy. And it was insane. Imagine that, how fucking your players and coaches turning on you like that.
Yeah, that's fucked.
That's shitty.
Yeah. Either way, yeah, the Dolphins Bengals. I can't make heads or tails of this, but I'm gonna throw this at you, and you might put a big damper. And I know our buddy Kyle's been saying, hammer the Bengals. Get ready for this. Since 2021, the Miami Dolphins are undefeated against starting quarterbacks whose last names contain the letter O, and they've lost every game otherwise. Joe Burrow is their next opponent. So Miami Dolphins money line might be looking good if you're following this trend of Miami
Yeah, I
Dolphins
mean,
beating.
+4 is looking like a fucking absolute lock. Am I wrong?
Yeah, dude.
Like
I
anything,
mean,
anything under three, like 2.5, 1.5, I always like to avoid because I like that field goal last second. So I at least get 3.5. But +4 right here, Thursday night. I know there's some
I mean, that's a
injuries.
good football number. I
Yeah,
mean, if you only lose by a field goal, you still got it right there. That's still fine. I mean,
exactly.
I know you
That's a
said
great
we were
number
kind of
there.
talking about this before. Jalen Waddle is dealing with a little bit of a hangering injury, lingering injury. But
Yeah, and I got to keep an eye on that. Might be coming to the fucking kick that cunt fantasy football
ooh,
team.
yeah. I mean, Tyreek Hill's still gonna be available. I understand they want to get Mike Gesicki involved. They're gonna need to do something on the ground. I know, but I mean, still on the opposite end. Joe Mixon a little banged up for the Bengals. It looked a little scary for T Higgins, but he did come back after getting cracked in that Jets game. And then it said he had a toe injury, but he fully participated in practice. So I mean, between T Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, we always talk about that trio of guys. They should do fine. Hayden Hurst might have himself a nice day considering the O line's still really shitty. So, uh, yeah, this is again another string of very very decent primetime Thursday night games. Prime Video or whatever made sure that they're gonna get their money's worth and make sure like, hey, schedule some good fucking games on Thursday night. So I understand. Like I think might be next week or the week before. I know we get Commanders Bears on a Thursday night. That's gonna be a classic Thursday night stinker. But I think there's another one coming up too. But either way, should be good. What are you feeling?
I think I'm gonna stick with the Dolphins +4.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think there are some injuries, both sides, obviously Tua, Jalen Waddle, Xavier Howard, even Brandon Jones, the safety for the Dolphins, all questionable this week. +4, that's just I don't know if that's a trap or a trick or Vegas has to know something we don't know because
No, I feel like Vegas
uh
has been pretty decent with their numbers. I don't know. There's not really been any rat lines. I mean, at least with the over unders, they've been like right on fucking
yeah, but
cue.
just the way the Bengals have looked this year, they're not the same Super Bowl
I
Bengals they
know.
were last year. I know they beat the shit out of the Jets, which they should have. But just that loss to the Cowboys week 2 just still sits so bad with me. And I know this is so basic to say, but the Bills just losing to the Dolphins last week. How do you not take the Dolphins in this game? I'll probably just take the +4 for the Dolphins. This will be a fun receiver matchup though. Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Jalen Waddle. Watching those four dudes on prime time is going to be fun tomorrow. If I had to take a team, I'm probably going to ride with the Dolphins on this one. I think
But
they just got a
also,
lot of momentum. They got a lot of momentum.
how's
Uh,
Tua? I know he was all banged up and a little wobbly on the one hit, and they I mean he passed apparently he passed the protocol for to continue in
yeah,
that game,
questionable,
but
but he did
yeah.
practice. So
Okay, well there you go. Maybe as long as his brains are completely fucking scrambled. I mean, I would definitely ride with that +4 as well. I mean, that's not the worst decision. I know maybe I don't know if it's a rat stinky line to me, but I don't see how you don't. I mean, for all the things you just said, they beat the
right,
Bills.
I mean they
I don't
beat the
see
Bills and they beat the
yeah,
Ravens. Like
yeah,
that's impressive.
and I mean the Bengals like as good as they are, they're still getting it right. I mean, like you just said, they beat up on the Jets, but uh nothing screams like, oh, they're gonna come out and mollywop the fucking Dolphins. I don't know if
Yeah.
that I don't know if they have that just yet. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, considering still running with the similar game script of trying to get it involved, might not have Joe Mixon, might have Samaje P. Ryan getting involved. So we'll see how that goes for the Bengals, but that trio of receivers should be pretty solid and keep them in the game, just like Miami's offense is keeping them in games. So we'll see how it goes. I like the +4. I'm not going to touch the total just yet. So yeah, I like that. That was pretty good. A pretty solid one. Uh, I have a list of stinky games. I'm gonna rattle off a couple of them. I want you to pick one, and I think we'll pick up. I'll pick one, and you pick one because I don't want to. For the sake of time, we don't need to sit here and go through all of these. But tell me which one you like, and we'll preview that one. I got Browns, Falcons, Seahawks, Lions, Jags, Eagles, Jets, Steelers, and Titans, Colts. Which one do you want to dive in on?
Definitely Jags Eagles.
Okay, Jags, Eagles.
Definitely Jags
How you
Eagles.
feeling on this one?
I love the Eagles, and we were talking about it last night. They have probably the easiest remaining schedule in the league. I mean, they play the Packers and the Cardinals are the two hardest, are the two best opponents they play remaining. So, fuck, this team can go undefeated. Don't think it's going to happen, but showing, they've showed a lot the first 3 weeks, and run game, pass game, defense. They seem to have it all. But so does this Jacksonville team, dude.
Yeah.
Like Jacksonville goes out, they lose a close one week one to the Commanders. But then they come out and they shut out the Colts, and everybody was sort of thinking, "Oh, the Colts are frauds. The Colts are frauds. The Colts suck." And then the Jaguars come out and not only beat the Chargers. I know they were beat up. No Rashawn Slater. Still no Keenan Allen. They haven't gotten Eckler going. Herbert's got the rib injuries. But 38-10, like that's just not a win. That's a whooping. That's an ass whooping over a team who I thought was going to be, the AFC West champs. I thought could represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Back-to-back weeks, they beat the fuck out of the Colts. They beat the fuck out of the Chargers. I don't know what Doug Peterson is going over there. We've seen Doug Peterson in the past. Um, Former Eagles coach, won the Super Bowl with them. I'm not going to take the Jaguars to win this game, but one of my locks, and it's in my parlay of the week, is going to be Jaguars +6. I just think this team has looked great. James Robinson and Travis Etienne have looked great, splitting time in the backfield, and Trevor Lawrence has figured it out in the pass game. Christian Kirk, a lot of people, myself included, I'm very sorry for saying what I did in the offseason, but he's earning every fucking paycheck, every dollar of that fucking 3 year, $76 million paycheck he's got. He's been one of the best receivers in the league alongside Zay Jones, who has come out of nowhere to, I think he's like top 6 or top 8 in the league in targets so far. So, I think Doug Peterson, revenge game against his old fucking team who he won a Super Bowl with in Philly, they're gonna cover the 6.5. So
Oh, that's pretty solid.
yeah.
Would it surprise you if I told you that the Jacksonville Jaguars are currently beating, in terms of yards per game, they're currently beating the Kansas City Chiefs in that stat? Would it surprise
Wow, that's insane. Yeah,
you?
that is very surprising.
Currently, the Jags have more yards per game than the Kansas City Chiefs average, the Chargers average, the Green Bay Packers, the Miami Dolphins, and let me see, that's another good one. The San Francisco 49ers, the
Wow.
Rams. They are currently sitting sixth in that stat.
Wow,
They're in
that's
top,
insane.
and then top 10 in yards per, or passing yards per game, rushing yards per game. Yeah, James Robinson, Travis Etienne looking pretty good. Trevor Lawrence, like we kind of previewed a little earlier, looking solid. The defense, yeah, they came out, and yeah, I guess the Chargers are a little banged up here and there, but they got, like you said, gave him an absolute ass whooping. I mean, Justin Herbert, controversial whether he should have been playing the entire game or not, played that entire game. So there was definitely a ton of opportunity for him to step up and do something. The Jacksonville Jaguars had said no, sir. So they said, yeah. So covering this game, not completely out of the equation, I suppose, but the Eagles are, if they are going to be the number one, number two, to at least maybe a top 3 team coming out of the NFC, like everyone's kind of harping on right now, it could be a big one for the Eagles. Could be one of their, statement games if they want to be legit. But I mean, they're good at putting up big leads and kind of putting on the brakes. They've been doing that the past couple of games, going up like 24-0, both in the Vikings game and the Commanders game, and kind of not letting them come back in, but just not scoring, not fucking, when you got them by the throat, you're not fucking choking them out. They just kind of like easing up on the gas pedal. So if they can do that, maybe put up like a 50 burger on the Jags, that would be like, okay, Eagles are for sure. That's gonna be on every one of those fucking those hot button hot take shows. Everyone's gonna say, oh, Eagles this, Eagles that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the +6 looks good, but I'm not. I can definitely see the Eagles just pummeling them by 25 or something like that. But I'm, that can be a pretty good game in my mind. I like that. I like that. Did you have anything else on that game?
No, I think that's about it for that game. What other of those games you like?
Of that scramble of games, I mean, geez, I'm gonna have to go towards grid again. Gonna have to Let's talk a little Seahawks Lions. I mean, the Falcons and Seahawks last week had no business possibly being the best game of the week in terms of just like all around entertainment value, high scoring, pretty good offensive plays, some big runs, some big receptions, some fucking clutch touchdowns and shit like that. So they had no reason being as entertaining as they are. And then here comes another high scoring Lions team. So here comes the Lions and the Seahawks. I mean, the Lions could take a step up and maybe show a little defense, but I'm banking on this being a high scoring one. I love it. They're in the dome. Jared Goff likes to have himself a little bit of a day. I'll go with his props for touchdowns. Maybe even the over on passing. We'll see how that goes. They might need it considering DeAndre Swift is out, but I mean, as much as I gave Allen shit, Jamal Williams is going to be looking good. But I mean, he didn't take him for the right reasons. He took him just because it looked good. Whatever. Either way, he's got him
Whatever
now.
that means, Al.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because it looked good week one, no matter what, it doesn't matter. He's got him now. It doesn't matter. Egg on everybody else's face. But if Amon St. Brown can go, that'll be fine. But on the opposite end, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett looking just as good, if not better, when fucking Russell Wilson was there. You look at it, I think Geno Smith might have, I mean, not might, I think he does have better passing, more passing touchdowns than Russell Wilson right now. Uh, so they're not, Seattle's not missing Russell Wilson in any sort of fashion, maybe for the sake of wins. I don't know, but yeah, Geno Smith looking like he's able to step up and still make these guys fantasy relevant. Maybe get a high scoring game. I think that's one of my best bets is the over in that game. But Lions, Seahawks in the dome. Let's see. Let's maybe a little track meet. Maybe this will be a high scoring affair. What are you thinking on this game, if anything?
Yeah, the only thing that does scare me is, like you said, DeAndre Swift probably not going to be playing, and Amon St. Brown also questionable.
I think
Those are
Swift is out for at least 2 weeks. I'm not.
okay.
I'm not.
So yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm pretty
their
sure he's
top
out
two
this long.
weapons, their top two weapons questionable. One of them definitely not going to be playing. Um, I think that might slow down this this Lions team just a little bit. So me personally, I like that over under. I like the over at 48 if those two guys were playing. But I will say I'm gonna say the Lions win this game. I think they're gonna win this game. I think they cover the 4.5. I think they can beat them by a touchdown. And yeah, it's just going to be a get right game after Campbell comes out last week, takes full blame for that loss, late bad play calling, not going for it on fourth down against the Vikings, and then Vikings go all the way down the field and get that touchdown with KJ Osborne, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think this is an at home get right game. Like I said last episode, Seahawks might be one of the worst, might be the worst football team in the league. I think
That's
they just got
possible.
that week one win. They got that week one win at home. They had to get it against Russell Wilson. They might not win another game the rest of the year. So I'm just going to take the heart and the grit of the Lions -4
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah, everyone's hammering that. Everyone loves the hard knocks. I feel like that's maybe the Lions are becoming a little bit more public, but dude, they keep covering. So whether it's that, I got them in the alt line and the alt line parlay. We'll get to that later, but I don't know. I like that 4.5. And you said the total went from it's out 48 now.
Yeah, it's at
I
48.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I saw it at 50 last night. So if it went from 50 to 48, I like that. I like that even more. I'll take that. I'll give me another 2 points. Uh, I got two more for sure, maybe one more if you want to talk about it. But Bill, I think we got to talk Bills Ravens. This is probably going to be one of the most exciting, or of this, if not the most exciting matchup in my mind. I mean, Bills top offense, top defense. Ravens same category. Two very explosive fucking quarterbacks, very mobile. This is going to be very exciting. Stephon Diggs says a little questionable, but I think it was a little cramped up. Gabe Davis probably still gimping with that ankle, but I would think 2 weeks out and probably a little better by now. But I mean, this defense hopefully that gets a little bit healthier. We saw that the Dolphins were able to get their spots and not being not too explosive and not too crazy with their numbers, but able to get the win. So, but I mean, if the Bills have another 90 offensive plays against the Ravens in some sort of fashion, I think they do end up getting the win in that 9. But either way, this is probably going to be very fantastic. I can't make heads or tails on it, but just to sit back for fantasy purposes, for entertainment purposes, I'm going to love Bills versus Ravens this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm not taking any spread, not taking any money line. I'm just gonna take the over in this one. I mean, the Ravens defense, they've been great at taking the ball away this year. But they have been giving up a lot of yards, and I think the same thing's gonna happen with the Bills this week. They're gonna drive the ball down the field at will, put the ball in the fucking end zone. Uh, it's funny. I drafted the Ravens defense in fantasy, and rightfully so. They've been great this year. They've been giving up yards, but they do have a lot of turnovers, which is
Yeah.
always good. They're good at getting those sacks, but I wake up this morning, check the phone, look at the waiver wire acquisitions, and I noticed that the Bills or the Baltimore defense was projected 1.8 points this
Yep.
week. So
I'm in the same boat.
immediately getting they're not getting dropped. I still like them for the
Oh
rest of the
yeah.
year. They're just getting benched for the week. And I mean, you got I think the two front runners for the MVP right now in Lamar Jackson and I almost said Jared Allen. Josh Allen over 51. I'm gonna love it. It sucks that the Bears are playing at the same time because this is one of the games that I would like to sit down and watch from beginning to end and not just catch it on red zone, you know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
over 51, I'm gonna take that. And like my sister says, she's not a big sports person. I just hope both teams have fun.
There you
That's
go.
her famous line.
That
So
is that's a
I
good
just
one.
hope both these teams have fun, score a lot of points. And it'll be a big fantasy day for both sides, for both teams. And yeah, just gonna sit back and enjoy this one. Might have to convince AJ to get a third TV out there and just stream this one or something
There you
because
go.
I don't want to miss this game or throw it up on the phone or something. Who knows?
Yeah, you might have to do that.
NFL. Oh,
I'm
dude, do you have NFL Plus?
no.
Oh, dude, $5 a month. You get to stream every game and you get the
Oh,
condensed version of each game. So you can see every play that happens in the game. No commercials, no dead time, no Chase Claypool doing the first downs, TikTok shit after the play. It's just play after play after play. You get through a game in like 18 minutes. It's
I love
awesome.
that. I love
Yeah.
that. The only thing I was going to piggyback really quick and might transition to the next game I want to talk about. I'm in the same realm, same boat on the defensive in the fantasy realm. I have the Ravens defense, and that sure enough, like you just said, playing against the Bills. I think in my league they're projected like 2.6 points.
Oh,
And I'm kind of like thinking like, what do I do? Do I go to my other defense? Do I try and pick up a defense? That might be what I lean towards. I don't know who I would drop. I might have to. We'll talk off air, but like, my other defense that I have currently rostered is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, and they're playing the Chiefs this week, they're basically in the same realm, projected 3 points on the
yeah,
dot.
not good.
The only thing that's saving me some sort of face in that game is they might not play. They might be playing in a dome. But I mean, even then, like that just sounds like it's gonna be a fucking track meet for both teams. I mean, and again, you can't never are you gonna feel safe with when you're playing up against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's possible they could do exactly what they did in the Super Bowl and sort of shut down Patrick Mahomes, but you can't bank on that every single time, considering Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. So I mean, I like I said, kind of previewing this game that I wanted to talk about in general. I'm kind of sitting here with a fucking no paddles, kind of trying to swim up shit creek, but I don't know. I mean, that's gonna be a tough one. I'm probably gonna have to lean towards the free agency. I didn't make a waiver wire move for a defense because that's a fucking rookie move. But we'll see how that goes. What are you really thinking? Maybe, like I said, maybe on Bucks Chiefs. Or are you thinking Super Bowl matchup, or is this going to be a little different considering Tom Brady still has really no weapons? Getting Mike Evans back this week. I don't know the health and sake of Julio Jones just yet, but Leonard Fournette's still looking good. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. What are you thinking, Chiefs?
Yeah, a lot of big names out for the Bucks. No Akeem Hicks, no Julio, no Godwin, no Donovan Smith, their offensive tackle. But I mean, defensively, they've looked great in the first three games they've played this year. The Saints holding them to 10, holding the Cowboys to 3, and holding, I know Devontae Adams, but still Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to only 14 points last week. I think that defense is still elite, one of the best defenses in football. But you're going up against the Chiefs and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce. Um, I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I'll just come out and say it. -1 right now. It's pretty much a pick 'em Sunday night in Tampa Bay.
It might not
Don't know
be in
where. Yeah,
Tampa because
exactly. Don't
they
know
said it
where
might
this is
move
going to
to
be played.
Miami, and then if last case and best or worst case scenario, they might have to move it to Minnesota because Minnesota is going to be in London for their game on
Yeah,
Sunday against the Saints. So make sure you get your lineup set for I think it's 8:30, 9 o'clock Central. So yeah, like I said, make sure you're up for that. I would definitely be questionable considering Delvin Cook might miss the game, so definitely be
yeah,
on the lookout for that.
yeah. So
But yeah,
I think the Chiefs take this one. Uh, but I think I'm in a weird situation. I want to root for Brady. I want to root for Evans just because I got him on my fantasy teams. And I think they could have decent games,
oh yeah,
but I think the Chiefs are going to win this one. They've had a decent season so far. They're 2-1. They lost, they lose that one to the Colts last week. I think heartbreaker, get right game for them. They can beat the Buccaneers have just looked terrible offensively. You see Tom Brady throwing tablets, yelling at his offensive linemen, yelling at Russell Gage and the rest of the receivers. Mike Evans will definitely help that out a little bit, but I
oh
don't
yeah.
think I don't think the offense is at where they need to be to keep up with the Chiefs offense. So
No, it
I think the
looks like they
Chiefs are going to
yeah.
take it.
Looks like they struggled every single week. I mean, week one they were only putting up like 19 up against the Cowboys, or for the most part, an okay defense with Micah Parsons at the helm. Uh, couldn't really get anything done until about the third, fourth quarter against the Saints, and then yeah, really struggling against a good Packers defense. I mean, I won't sit here and fucking fluff anything, but yeah, they're pretty solid defense. They were turning the ball over left and right on them, so yeah, they're gonna need to figure something out if they want to put up any sort of numbers against this and keep up with this Chiefs team. If it's gonna be a track meet, I mean, I'll still give the advantage to the Chiefs no matter who they got out there. They still got a lot of speedsters, and Travis Kelce is sure enough might be open every single time down the field. The only
Yeah.
thing that they're going to establish, just kind of like what you alluded to last episode, they can get any sort of help in the run game. It's going to be really tough this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, who, while might not look good every single time, they do key in on the run, and they do a pretty good job of holding the rush down. So they're going to need to do something like that. But I'm sure yeah, I see the 1.5 or whatever it is right now on the road. It might be a road game for both these teams at the end of the day. So given the advantage to the Chiefs, not the worst decision. I had that game. We can wrap it up if you want to talk about Rams Niners, unless you had any other game like that. I mean, that was the last game we could kind of preview that I had on my
Yeah,
docket.
no, the rest of the games, I think Chargers definitely get right on the road against the Texans.
Yeah.
I think Cardinals, underdogs in Carolina. Carolina actually -1.5. I think the Cardinals are good enough to beat the Panthers. I know they've looked okay offensively this year. But I think Kyler Murray can just fucking win that game by himself. And then Jets Steelers, that's going to be an ugly one. Titans Colts, battle of the frauds. And then we got the Cowboys and the Indians playing on Fox with the Cowboys and the Commanders. Always fun when you get that matchup when those And I did it again. The NFC East teams like that mix or mix and match and get at each other's throats. So Dallas -3.5 there. But yeah, I mean, rest of the games, not too much interest. We could sort of wrap things up with the Monday night game if you want.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. I'm glad I got the line in when I did. I don't really know why the Rams are getting +1 or why they're getting plus money on the road. I maybe for that reason, just because they're on the road, but nothing really indicates to me, especially that Sunday night game, that the 49ers are any different than what they were last year or the year before or the year before that. I mean, with Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm, it's simply going to be if he can't find an open receiver, he's not going to run. So if the Rams defense can just key in on that, probably get some sacks, it could just for sure just go the Rams way without a doubt. I mean, I don't have too much crazy, preview on this game, but looks like Cam Akers is getting more involved than Daryl Henderson. We saw that flip flopped at the beginning of the year. Now it's getting evened out right now. We're seeing Cam Akers getting more attention, but I mean, if you're gonna give me the Rams with Cooper Kupp and plus money, I'll take a risk on that every single time. I don't
Yeah.
care. I mean, it's as simple as that. Honestly,
Yeah.
there's nothing on me. There's no big giant injuries or nothing like that that scream at me that are saying like, hey, the Rams should be underdogs. I don't see it. Maybe you can pin it at me, but I mean, Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp, I was about to say Gerald Everett, he former Ram, but I mean, if Akers and them are figuring it out, then I don't see how or why the Rams don't take this. Yeah, maybe you can
Yeah, no,
point at
I,
me.
I
I don't know.
completely agree with you. I mean, in terms of injuries, it's actually going against the 49ers. I mean, they're going to be without the best offensive lineman in the league, in my opinion. Trent Williams, he's out. Uh, Aziz Al-Ashir, their linebacker, he's going to be out, and Eric Armstead also questionable another week. And those are three big names on that team. I just again going back to the Chiefs Bronco or the Chiefs Buccaneers. I don't think the 49ers have what it takes offensively to keep up with the Rams. And the Rams have, the Rams look good on offense. Matt Stafford has had a season so far, already 5 interceptions through 3 games. But he's gonna keep feeding Cup. He's gonna get his. It don't matter if it's Henderson or Cam Akers at this point. Both of them have looked very, I'm not going to say great. Both of them have looked decent so far this year running the ball. And you said it perfectly. Whenever you get the Rams plus money, take it.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I
you
literally
have
just did it
to.
right now on points
Yeah.
bet. Points bet code SYS9. I just took it. They were plus 105 last night, and I'm looking at it right now. Still plus 100 on the money line. I just took the money line right now. So if you go ahead and do that, code SYS9, you'll get a risk-free bet up to $2,000. Maybe you ride with us on this Rams money line, so you can do that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Sure enough, and Debo is still a little, he kind of banged up. I mean, he didn't look all himself through the Sunday night game. So
Yeah.
again, it's possible. I know it could be a close one back and forth. I guess just for the sake of it being a divisional matchup. But I mean, I did say Vegas was kind of giving out decent lines, not rat lines. This is the only rat line I see. I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know why this is what it is, but I'm gonna take the cheese. I'm gonna take this plus 100 on the Rams.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I don't care. Give me that every single time. Um, yeah, without further ado, I got a couple of bets, couple of underdog plays, and then an old line parlay, and I think that basically wraps this up. There's really nothing else. I mean, baseball is fuck all. I don't really give a shit. But yeah, but like I said, we got some best bets brought to you by Points Bet. Points Bet, go to SYS9. Just said it before. Rewind it if you want to hear what the promotion was. Uh, best bets on the night. You said it changed from 50 to 48, so I'll take it. Seahawks Lions over 48, probably still at -110, maybe -107. I think that's a fucking lock. Uh, Lions looking like Lions have a very high scoring offense as of through 3 weeks, pretty decent. Seahawks, they don't like to play defense, so I mean, fuck it. Maybe the Lions can do it all by themselves. I mean, obviously the Lions don't have a fucking Seattle Legion of Boom style defense that'll be holding down anybody anyways. So going to be high scoring, 48. I'll take that. Another one for the best bets category, Bears plus 3.5 for the sake of us thinking that they're going to win. Might as well take it plus 3.5. And even if they do lose by the field goal that we're kind of leaning towards, it'll keep it close. That's fine. We get the hook right there with the half.
Hook.
And then it was plus 2.5 last night, but I mean, I'll still take the plus one for the Rams. Rams plus one on the road. Money line plus 100 right now. You could have locked it in at plus 115. Like I said, you got to hop on those lines as early as possible. So hopefully, when this goes up, it's still plus money by the time you get to it. So, like I said, Rams money line, or Rams spread that kind of alludes into one of my underdog plays. Where I got the Rams money line, got the Bears money line at plus 145. That might have changed as well. And you know what? Fuck it. We'll go with the Broncos money line. I'm not feeling too crazy confident on it, but for the sake of just the Raiders continuing the trend of they don't look very good, and maybe the Broncos kind of figured it out towards the end. I still doubt it. I'm not gonna put my fucking college fucking tuition on it, but Broncos money line plus 115 as of right now, being road underdogs, and my alt line parlay. I locked it in at plus 265. Like I said, it definitely might change now with this Rams line being moved around, but I outlined the Lions at minus 2.5, the Eagles at plus. Did I say plus? Let me start it over again, just in case I fucked it up. Lions minus 2.5, Eagles minus 2.5, and the Rams plus 3.5. They came out to plus 265. I locked that in last night. You can probably go ahead and add your little free boost to it, 10%, and probably get a little bit more juice out of it. I think that's pretty solid. I think that'll be, I don't know. I don't hate that word, but Glink will lock it up. That's going to be maybe the lock parlay of the week. So, any
Clink,
bets on
clink.
you? Yeah. Any bets
I
for
like
you?
that.
Anything?
Yeah, I actually have two little parlays that I put together. Nothing too crazy. I did put together a little alt line parlay, just like you were sort of talking about. It's going to be a little four-legger there. We're going to take Thursday night Dolphins plus 7.5.
Okay.
I think if they do lose, it's going to be by less than a touchdown. So plus 7.5 minus 190. We're taking the Lions at home to win minus 2.5. So I think they can get win that by at least a field goal over there, minus 180. We're taking the Jags to cover plus 10.5 against the Eagles, minus 180 there. And then we're going to take the Rams at home plus 3.5, minus 160. All four of those on points bet come out to plus 500. You use your little points bet daily boost, it gets up to 554. So
Nice.
again, Rams plus 3.5, Jags plus 10.5, Lions minus 2.5, and Dolphins plus 7.5. 554 on points bet for my little alternate spread parlay. And then I got a simple one on just a 3-leg money line parlay. We are going to take the Detroit Lions minus 210. We are going to, unfortunately, take the Green Bay Packers minus 500 money line. Not a lot of juice there. But we are going to take the third leg, the Los Angeles Chargers minus 240. All three of them plus 150. Boost that up to plus 169.
How you doing?
69 on points bet. Yeah, like those three teams right there. Chargers, Lions, and Packers all on the money line plus 169. Not a lot of juice there, but those are really only three
Hey,
games that I'm confident with,
you don't need to be chasing plus signs every single time. If you think that's
Exactly.
going to be it, that's going to
Exactly.
be the thing. I mean, I like that. That's not the worst decision. And I love, again, we didn't type this up. I typed this up last night. I don't know when you came up with your all line parlay, but love that we knew plus 3.5 on the Rams and the minus 2.5 alt line on
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
Lions. I love we're on the same wavelength for the thinking right there. I mean, yeah, sure enough. If this when you're given the Rams any sort of plus money, you'll take that, especially with and then juice it up with the spread, and then yeah, get a little bit of love for the Lions. They always love covering. So I think that's fucking fantastic. Let's see. That if you had nothing else, that about wraps it up for me. About wraps it up basically on the entire episode. I got not really nothing else on baseball other than Tony La Russa officially basically announced that he won't return in any sort of fashion next year. I don't know if we said that jokingly last episode or the episode before, but see ya. Goodbye. Grab some bench there, Tony. Take a fucking nap. And still Aaron Judge just can't get a hit, nor can he get a home run. So
People just keep walking them.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. My dumbass actually went ahead and took that bet with just to get a hit to plus 100 the other day. So it is what it is. That's why I stick to my $3 bets because I don't get fucked. But that's how it happens. But let's see. Like I said, thanks for fucking if you had nothing else, thanks for joining in. Thanks for tuning in. This is another fucking fantastic one. Heavy on the football, but that's exactly how we like it here. 126 in the books. Wow, Bill, you got anything to cap us off?
Yeah, unfortunately, just got the news that my favorite female fighter in the world, Aspen Ladd, absolute babe, has been removed from the UFC roster due to her failing to make weight for a third straight fight. So, great Instagram follow, by the way, Aspen Ladd. Cut from the UFC roster. Sad to see her go, but great follow on Instagram.
There you go. Yeah, I guess the only thing on my mind, I guess you said cut from the roster. Malachi Black is staying with is AEW. If anyone in the wrestling realm is not aware, he's basically announced that on his Instagram live. And there was also something, Buddy Matthews not going to be gone, not leaving. He's literally just going home to fix his visa, his work visa, and get back over to the States. So probably going to be seeing the House of Black in no time again. Gonna love hearing that. So like you said, that's a positive way to end the show. Let's get a Bears win. Let's get some fantasy wins. Let's get some fucking, I don't know. Let's eat a bunch of fucking shitty food, good food over the weekend. I don't know. Go crazy.
Oh
Get a
yeah,
fucking
Jewel chicken wings, baby.
Oh yeah, smother it in some fucking ranch or something.
Dude, yeah, you were there. The 50-piece fucking nugget from Wendy's.
They're back.
That's the fucking new move
That's
every
the
day
move.
now.
That's
the move. They
get
better
yourself...
get the spicy though. You think they'll do spicy, right?
Yeah, they could do a half. Ask for half and half. You do half and half.
Good.
Ask them half and half. That's a good way to end it. Take care. Like and subscribe. Go fucking do everything crazy. Go listen. Thanks you for listening. Alan, take notes. Thank you, Troy. Take care. Spike here. Woohoo.